Hi, my name is Brian Nicol, and this is my intro video for ARC601. I'll be taking you through some my projects that I did for ARC501 and 502. Starting with the residential project in Los Angeles, California that I did in the fall of 2024. Looking at the big picture of what we're trying to do, we're trying to provide living amenities as a basic human right. We're trying to create a positive living environment for everyone, and regardless of your social status or status in the economy, you would have a place to live. And we'd also look at how this building would be designed in terms of sustainability. First, in this schematic design, we'd look at what kind of roles would be using these buildings and what these buildings would offer. And then we'd get into schematic iterations, different kinds of site plans and layouts and potential massings that were going to be used. Next, we'd look at the environmental design and how we could use that to create some passive methods of heating and cooling, like solar panels, open air designs, and the use of the stormwater collection. These designs would ultimately lead to the renderings that are shown here, one of these being the condo. Then we'd go into the outdoor common space that is provided for the tenants, some indoor and outdoor social spaces that are provided as amenities to the tenants, and these renders would ultimately cap off the project for the residential units in Los Angeles. Next, we get into ARC502, which was an institution edition in Detroit, Michigan that I completed in spring of 2025. We begin with a lot of schematic mapping of Detroit. This was a hand sketch that I did with some overlays of different uses of the area. Then, similar to 501, we get into creating as many iterations as possible. This way we can kind of look at what works and what doesn't for the site. Then we did get into breaking down Los Angeles as a city, looking into its climate, humidity, rainfall, wind, shading, temperature, things like transportation. Everything was broken down so that we could create the best design possible. This slide here shows how we got the grid to work with the building, and the left side of the slide also shows how it was built from the ground up. These next slides show schematic designs as well as mechanical systems and structural systems that were used to create the building. And then finally getting into the working drawings like elevation, site plan, sections, and floor plans. That ultimately fleshed out the renders that you see here. These are the exterior shots, followed by some interior shots of some gathering spaces and classrooms. For ARC601, I'm excited to get into the different cultural contexts of what we're getting into with these designs, and I'm excited to sort of get into how sustainability and the cultural context and technologies, as well as the environmental concerns, can push these designs and sort of make us think outside of the box to create an exciting design.